Let's go drift it.
Hey guys, I'm the Drifting Dad, and today I'm putting my custom body kit on my RX7 and sweating a whole lot. So here are the side skirts. They're definitely long. See there? I'm gonna have to shorten them in the middle. At least a couple inches. And then retrim this line, which will be good because I want it to match more with this here. What I'll do here is actually cut the side skirt here and shorten it, because this is like a common cross section. You don't want to just shorten it out at the end because you have this here that's going to be hard to fix. And then back here, I've got this pulled all the way up against the wheel well, so that's where that will stay. And I'll retrim this line to match the door line. So there's where I'll shorten it up. And I'll have to make sure those cuts are nice and straight, so when it matches up, everything looks correct. I'm using a T-square to make the lines to trim, so make sure it'll be nice and straight. So I've cut the side skirt in half so I can shorten it up. I used a hacksaw instead of something powered because this is just fiberglass, so it cuts really easy, makes less of a mess. Because the skirt is not meant for the RX7. This is too long here, so it's interfering with the by the car, and then not letting this part sit flush. So what I'm going to do, what I've been doing is trimming it. I have to just keep trimming it until it sits the way I like it up there. So I found out these tin snips, aviation tin snips, actually work super well for trimming fiberglass and makes less of a mess than like a hacksaw or something. The hacksaw actually works well as well if you need to cut something real straight. Here's one skirt fully mocked up. See, I've trimmed them in half. I need to trim the front now. Here is what it's going to look like. Obviously the car needs to be lower. This piece trimmed the length, but the issue here now is this doesn't have a relief to fit in this door sill and then come around to clear the fender. So what I'm going to do is measure the distance that I need inside the door sill, measure on here, and then cut the notch. That distance is 24 inches and it ends up being here. So I'm gonna have to trim a lot of this off. I'll go in kind of sections so I don't trim off too much, but I need to have that clear so I can make that notch. I got one side all mocked up. Gonna have to join the middle part together. It's just tape now, and then I'm gonna go ahead and clean up these edges once I get the part together. It's going to need a lot of cleanup. Not so much on that side, but definitely on that side here. Here's the bumper. This is just like a polyurethane lip for a Mazda 3, 2004 to 2006. I'll post the link in it. I'll post the link in the description for it. Not too bad. It is quite a bit wider than the RX7, so it will have to be trimmed down the middle. So I'm going to find the middle here and cut it and then join it back, and I'm actually going to use like an adhesive meant for a polyurethane bumper repair to put it back together. Probably reinforce it with mesh in the back as well. Overall, not too bad. It's definitely going to require some modification to fit, which I knew, but it does look pretty good on the car. We got the lip kind of just set on the ground, approximately where it will go. What I need to do is take this fender flare off so I can get it more flush with the body. But you can see coming over here, we've got bit of a gap. So what I'm gonna have to do is trim out the middle of it. So I gotta find the center point first. I'm just gonna take a quick measurement though to see how much about I'm gonna take out. See, it's about 3 inches, maybe a little less, or maybe a little more. What I did here was I measured from this point to this point. It's about 31 inches wide, so 15 and a half, somewhere in here is gonna be the middle. So I'm gonna measure that, mark that with a scribe, or probably because the Sharpie won't show up, and then trim there. So now I have 2 pieces. I'm gonna fit them on the car and see how much I'll have to trim out of the middle for real. So I'm mocking up the lip now. The one thing I do see is you can't get it super low as I have it in here, because there's this huge gap that ends up, I think I'll get it as low as the original splitter, which is good, but I thought I might have been able to go lower. What we'll have to do is actually push this up until the gap disappears. I mean, it looks good like that, it's just not as low as I thought it was going to be. So what I'll probably do here is then put like a splitter underneath it, but this gives a really nice base for a splitter, and that will kind of help strengthen the whole lip. Still not sure exactly how I'll mount it, probably some little brackets and rib nuts and stuff like that, so it needs to not just fall off. So because they interfere at the middle, I've used this block to set kind of where this edge is, and then I'm going to mock up the other side and do the same thing, and then I'll see how I have to trim. So there's the mocked up bumper. See, it is kind of pointy in the front. I think that adding the splitter will help get rid of some of that pointiness. I'm going to figure out a way to join that seam, probably like a bumper repair kit or something. Now we have the lip somewhat mounted. I'm kind of measured where we need to cut, and with that I will trim those with the hacksaw, and then I'm probably going to use like some supporting pieces to rip it back together before I glue it. What I did here was I just used the nutsert that was for the fender flare. I think that'll line up pretty nicely, and this is just holding it in place. All right, got the pieces cut off, so I'm going to put the bumper or the lip back on, and then what I'm actually going to do is use these as like the backing piece to reinforce this, since it already is that same shape. It'll fit pretty nicely back there, and then I'll just rivet that in to support it, and that will help join them together, so when I actually go and put the bumper together, I've got something to adhere to. And what I'll do is actually recess the rivets a little, just kind of, this is so thick, I can recess the rivets a little and then put some adhesive over them, you'll never see them. Here I riveted the bumper together. It's kind of hard to see because it's black, but that's going to be what it's going to look like. I just got to figure out how to hold it in the middle, which I'll probably put a stay off the where the radiator support is. All right, so I'm getting this ready to use the adhesive to glue them together. What I've got to do here is there's these rivets I got to clean up so that they're below the surface of the plastic, so I can fill them back with adhesive and they look decent. So I'm going to do that. All these rivets there. So I did leave a gap here for the adhesive to run into, and you do have to sand it back. They say with 80 grit or something, so it has something to adhere to. Here I've applied the adhesive. You see how well that works, kind of coated everything, filled that crack. Apparently it dries in like 30 minutes, so I'll check it out when it dries. It's obviously going to need sanding and work to get smooth, but I filled the major holes with it.